Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Avery, and today we're going to be using Python with the YouTube API to be able to edit your title and your thumbnail, and basically once you learn from there, you can be able to do a lot of other features as well. There's this Tom Scott video, it's 2 years old, and as you can see, the title of the video shows how many views were in the video. So we're going to be discussing on how this can actually be done. I'm going to have this linked in the description, but you want to have your Google account set up, of course. I mean, if you have YouTube, you have Google, and you want to be able to get into the API console, basically. And maybe it'll have you to sign into your account, and it'll want you to create a project. And once you create a project, you want to go to these credential page, and you'll just want to create new credentials. And let me actually create credentials right here. We'll do the OAuth client ID and application type. I'm just going to do a desktop app and click create, just like that. So it's as simple as that. Here's the code you want to do, download JSON, and you'll just download your client secret, basically, which has this information right here. Just make sure I don't actually share that to anything. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one. But basically, you'll just have a JSON file with some information that you can use to connect to your YouTube account, basically. We're going to look at an example. Here's a video that I have. It's private. We can look at the analytics. There shouldn't be that much since lifetime. Okay, 31 views. So it has 0 dislikes because that's what I'm having it run right now. Let's quickly look at this script and let's run it so we can see it in action. So it's just going to take a second. And so it gets the view count, and the title is updated, and the thumbnail was updated. Let's reload it real quick. And now it shows 31 views, and the title of the video should say, this video has 31 views. So now let's go ahead and actually look at our code and see what we did. So down here at the very bottom, I just have it a few options, basically, so I can set if I wanted to do it based on the views, based on the likes, the dislikes, and the comments. So I first run this function called count, and in there I pass in the video ID, which you can get your video ID. It's just this part of the link right here. That's your video ID. And you'll pass in this parameter. So let's go up to this count function. Count check. Okay, so here's the count function. It runs this YouTube function that actually sets up to make sure your credentials are working. YouTube functions right here. So it sets the credentials to none. And then it checks for token.json. Don't worry, you don't need this file at first. If this file doesn't exist, this is going to use it to create it. But if it does exist, it's just going to set your credentials to this token file. If it doesn't exist, it's going to look for your client file. So this is the file that I showed you that you can download. And it's going to look through that, and if that's correct, it's going to actually pull up a browser. I'm going to ask you to sign in. So it's just going to be like, oh, okay, is this you? Maybe it'll say your project's not verified. Just go ahead and ignore that at the moment. And then afterwards, it's going to generate this token file, and then it's not going to need you to sign in every single time. We have the scopes right here that we're passing in. That's this right here. They're basically just saying we want to use SSL. We want to use YouTube through SSL for this API call that we're doing. And here's a bunch of the libraries that we have for this. We're also using the Pella library to generate the thumbnail. We have our video ID as well. So this is just going to check for the credentials. It generates a token if there is no token. And then from there, we're going to be creating, we're basically just going to pull a response for the video ID, and we're going to pull out the stats. The view count can be found just with this. It's with a response, item 0, stats, kind. And I'm also printing out the video response and the items just so you can actually look through them. So here's the video response. As you can see, there's other information. Here's the view count, here's the like count, the dislike, favorite count, comment count. If anyone actually knows what a favorite count is, go ahead and share that in the comments, because I don't know what it is. I didn't really look into it, though. I'm not sure if you can even favorite a video. Maybe it just means it was added to a playlist. I'm not sure. But basically, it just gets the video count. Or if you pass in something else, that's the view count. You pass in like count, the dislike, or comment count. Of course, you can also do the favorite count. And it's just going to return what that count is. So now we want to generate a thumbnail with the number and what it is. So views, likes. So I'll just go to create thumbnail. It creates this image that's this size. It sets the background to this black grayish background. And then it draws out the image. And then I have it just draw out the count and the kind. So it's 31 and then views, just like that. I'm loading in this font, and I just have it draw right out in that specific spot with a font. And I have it saved to this file. It can be whatever. Gen thumb, so it's just a generated thumb. And I also have it return the name of the file that was generated. So down here, after it generates it, it saves that, and now it's going to actually do the update. The update is what I'm having it do to push to Google, basically, and push to YouTube. So once again, it's passing the video ID, the thumbnail file, and the text that is going to be used for the title. So I'll check here in the update function. The update function also calls the YouTube credential function, just to make sure the credentials are correct. And there's probably, right off the bat, there's probably a simpler way of doing this, or a shorter way. But I'm setting the thumbnail right here. The media body is set to thumb, so that sets the file. And then I just say it was uploaded successfully. It's in this try catch, so if there's an error, it will crash before then. And then I'm also updating the title, so there's probably a better way of doing this. I'm pulling out all the information and then just manually updating the title, and then just pushing everything all back. I think there's probably a better way to do that. Feel free to share in the comments if you know. And then I just print it out and say it was uploaded correctly. It's as simple as that. I just have all these modes so I can set what I want for the video. This video has the view count. I'll have the other videos appear right here that you guys can check out. It'll have the like, the dislike, and the comment count. And how do you want to make it so it runs automatically? Let's look at, we'll use cron jobs and cron. Here, there's a website I know that'll generate the correct, I think it's this one. Okay, so here, say you wanted the cron job to run every 5 minutes or something like that. If you go to, right here, it shows how many calls you've made. So I think you want to do, you get 10,000 calls per day. So, I mean, this uses a couple calls. So you just want to make sure that you have it split out correctly. So this is one at Sunday. Well, I'm just going to look it up. Cron every 5 minutes. So this is what you need to pass in your cron to make it run every single 5 minutes. Let's exit out of here. And if I remember how to do this correctly. Actually, I'm going to jump onto my server because if you want it to run all the time, you want to make sure that it's on a computer that's running all the time. My laptop's not always open. So if it's on your server, you just want to upload this code. I actually have this code in here. So it runs the same. And we'll use the cron tab editor. Make sure I type the right password. And you can jump down here and actually have it run. So we'll just copy this basically and paste that in, and we'll just write the command that we're doing. I like to write out the full path just to make sure that it's all working correctly. Updater.py. Alright. Let's make sure I'm doing this correct thing. Okay, that looks correct. And now, just on its own, cron's going to be able to run, and it's going to update this video cover every single seconds. For this example, for this video, we can actually go ahead, the video that I'm going to upload that you're watching right now, if I were to go ahead and change in here, vid updater, let's change the mode to view, and let's change this title to I taught X people how to use the YouTube API. So it's just going to be like that, and that's what's going to be used for this video. So hopefully this was useful to you guys. I'm going to have my code linked in the description. I also found, after I was finishing it up and I was doing a little bit more searching on some of the stuff, I found someone else's code. It works a little bit differently. It's more set to use from the command line. It's pretty useful, so you guys can check out this person's code as well. I have that linked. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and feel free to check out the other videos as well.